Hi, welcome to Shaky Sports Journeys. Thanks for joining us. We're on the eve of a massive tournament, T20 World Cup upcoming. So I thought it would be fitting to get on somebody from the Scotland camp, and who better than a prolific batsman for England as well as Warwickshire. I say hello to Jonathan Trott. How are you, sir?
Good on yourself.
I see you just covering that sunshine up in the background, mate. Don't want to make all us viewers jealous sitting back in the UK.
Yeah, it's pretty warm as well. We were in Oman as well before then, before now, I should say, and that was even more, even hotter. Or it felt hotter. It was a bit more humid. So the team's going back to Oman on after the game on Thursday. So it's pretty relentless, all this heat, but it's starting to cool down a little bit. So hopefully by the end of the tournament, it'll be a bit cooler for the boys. But they've done really well in the heat. They've embraced it and put in some great performances so far.
Yeah, no, it's been excellent viewing from back home. So I was really happy to see when you got included in the camp, because Shane and Wrighty aren't really known for their batting. Well, Wrighty would like to think he's known for his batting, but you've brought in that special quality. How have you gelled with Shane and Wrighty?
Oh, really well. I think, since I got the train up to Edinburgh and got ready for the Zimbabwe T20 three games that we had, little series we had against Zimbabwe. It's been great. We got on really well with all the lads. It's been very inclusive and they've been very accommodating for somebody on the outside who hasn't spent any time with the side, and really enjoyed it. Great bunch of lads, on and off the field. Really, it's I'm surprised, and whenever you go into a new environment, it's always interesting to see how things operate, or a little bit different. Every sort of side has its own uniqueness, I should say. Cricket Scotland certainly has that.
Good to hear. Good to hear. Good to hear they welcomed you. That's great to hear. You took in a bit of cold weather prior to getting out to the sunshine. But the weather was not too. It was decent enough for the T20 series in Zimbabwe, so it wasn't too cruel to you. Talk to me about your role in general. How you're obviously the batting coach for this World Cup that's about to start. How does your day-to-day role go as a batting coach?
Oh, well, just generally depends if it's a match day or practice. Really, practice, you spend a lot of time with the batters throwing. You end up throwing lots of balls, which I enjoy. I enjoy the sort of relentlessness side of it, and do a bit of hard work with the guys and get up close and personal with them. So it's nice to be able to watch sometimes as well, because you don't get to watch much when you're throwing balls all the time, to see how everyone's going in all the nets, because you generally focus just on the one net. So I like to vary sometimes as coaching, but here it's been more throwing. Getting the guys hitting balls and watching the bat. During a match, it's more watching and just trying to keep the odd sort of idea here and there with the guys, keep their minds sort of nice and relaxed state, but also watching them, how they, not necessarily on the field, but also how they are off the field as well, and waiting to back, little things like that, and how they go about their business, and little traits. And from my experience of having watched a lot of the players around the world, the traits that they do, and little tips here or there to help them succeed.
No, great to hear. Great to hear. You've obviously come into the squad. You've only really joined them for the Zimbabwe series, as you said. How have you found the talent amongst the batsmen, comparing it to, you've obviously mixed shoulders with some of the best teams in the world, been in some of the best teams in the world as well as played against them. Where would you compare what you're seeing?
I think it on par really for a group of players who are pretty experienced now. There are not many young batters. There's a lot of players here who played a lot of cricket for Scotland, and just you can see the fact that they hadn't played for the last sort of couple of months, and nobody has really played around the world that much if you're not in a sort of secure bubble, or not a county, or not a professional, fully professional run organization. So it's been a bit of a limit on the amount of cricket the guys could play coming into the tournament. Obviously, we had a full summer, but as a squad, they haven't played a lot of cricket together, and you can just see little things here or there that are getting ironed out now. With the more cricket we play, the continuity of training and playing, and spending time in and around as a squad, things start gelling a lot better and becoming the guys become more natural at the game, and the rhythm and the pace of the game, they pick it up pretty quickly.
Who are you excited about in the squad? As in, who are the players that you think could take this competition by storm?
I think they're a host of guys. They're very, very powerful bunch of lads. It's going to be about holding your nerve and dealing with the pressure. I think sometimes not letting the occasion dictate your emotions. Really, it's a case of just being able to handle it and in the big and pressurized situations. Is what I'm trying to say. I think we got some really good players. I don't want to mention anyone, but they're anybody here. It's full of match winners, really. I think there's 4 or 5 guys that could win a game on their own or set up games on their own. But it's going to be about putting good 40 overs together, not just the one side, because you can see games can swing or be lost, and you could be won or lost in one good over or one bad over.
Well, you talk about that. The Zimbabwe series was a perfect example of that. I mean, most of Scotland could have won that series 3-0. But
exactly.
the last 5 overs of the 2 games that they lost, they were the moments that cost them. So you're right. It's there's fine margins in this T20 cricket. You've got to hit all your straps pretty well to succeed and come out at the end.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's not obviously it is about hitting sixes and boundaries, but it's what you do in between those deliveries. I think certainly. And it's going to be interesting to watch, but also very much important to doing well in the subcontinent is the rotational strike and being able to manipulate the ball into areas and be able to score without taking massive risks, because the wickets are going to get a little bit tired having just had an IPL on them. So they're not going to be as hard and fast as, say, if you go down to Australia and play on fresh wickets all the time. So the skill of rotating strike, playing against slower bowling, playing against slow, and adjusting to slower balls is going to be crucial for the batsman, that is. And doubly so also for bowlers, with being able to operate and survive in what is quite a volatile game with regards to success and failure. Your skills and your variations are going to be key.
Yep. Scotland, we've played in quite a few big tournaments now. Couple of T20s, I think 3 ODI World Cups now, if I'm right in saying. And something that always kind of comes out of it is we had some good moments, but we were never able really to get over the line. Whereas the likes of Ireland have had success at big tournaments, have taken down some of the giants. What do you think? Watching from the outside, this squad to me is as talented as we've had. You talked about the mindset. Is that going to be the key? Is it the belief that they can do it on the big stage?
I think belief is there. I think it's just going out and doing it now, actually. Sometimes the hardest hurdle to get over is that first one, and then from there, it's, you get a lot of confidence from that. So it's how they're going to start against Bangladesh, I think, in the first game in Oman, and go from there, get a bit of confidence. Certainly have the potential to upset it once, hopefully get through to the main competition. Certainly have the potential to upset a few of the bigger nations and more traditional, international teams. But yeah, the ambition's there, the work ethic's there. It's just about going out and delivering. So we've got 2 more warm-up games, which is going to be crucial with regards to guys hitting their straps, getting combinations right, getting used to playing with each other, and all, firing, getting everyone in good form. There are a few guys who are playing very well at the moment. There are a few guys who who want to play a little bit better or get in that confidence or get that form up. So it's about getting everybody peaking at the right time. And let's hope that we got 2 more warm-up games. Hopefully everyone can do that.
No, fingers crossed. You mentioned the Bangladesh game. It's a massive game to start the tournament come Sunday. Test playing nation. Although we have had success against them in the past in T20, we have beaten them once before. It's a great opportunity to announce yourself in the tournament. What are you the guys confident about that game? Is there anything that I know you can't give away too much of how you plan to play it, but I mean, are you feeling quietly confident that you'll turn them over on Sunday?
I don't want to turn them over. I think just try and beat them and start the tournament well. I think is crucial. I think what we have done is we've played a game or 2 out in Oman and done pretty well there. We were unbeaten in Oman for the games that we played. Obviously 50 over, albeit, but we know the conditions. We know the outfields. We know the field, if you like. So we've had a bit. It's not as if we're going there, and without into the unknown. We've played some cricket there the last few weeks, but played well as well. So the guys will be confident. I think that should stand us in good stead no matter who we're playing. So yes, Bangladesh, they've played some good cricket at home in their own country. Hopefully we can beat them in Oman.
Yeah, I'm very much hoping so. And the next two games, as you've just mentioned, you've already had great success against PNG and against Oman. But going into a tournament, there's no space for slip-ups. That's got to stay in the past. But you must take confidence that you'd like to think that Scotland could beat both those teams on the when the World Cup begins.
Yeah, I think so. I think when you look at that, when you look at the competition and only two go through, those are the two that you would say Scotland would be, favour themselves to win. But if they can upset Bangladesh or beat Bangladesh, and it does not saying it takes the pressure off, but it gives them a good, huge boost, not only for that group stage, but hopefully getting out of the group stage and going on into the main event.
And when you mention the main event, let's talk in hearsay and say that we make the top two. That's where the real opportunity starts, where Scotland could go in and really look to take a few big scalps. And you're confident within the unit that the boys can do something like that?
I certainly believe that. I don't, I encourage you guys not to look too far ahead. If you start looking too far ahead and trying to target and win a few big games in the main competition, you might take your eye off a little bit of what's in front of you, which is obviously 2 warm-up games and then the round 1 starting. So that'll take care of itself. We do the little things well now, prep really well. It'll give us the best chance to get there, hopefully. But we've got to take care of business first. So I haven't spent too much time thinking about that. That's a byproduct of playing some really good cricket now and as a side and individually.
No, you sound like you're keeping the boys well grounded, keeping them focused on one day ahead, not looking too far ahead. I think that's great. Sounds like the morale is very good in the camp. You've played in big tournaments. You've played in big, massive Ashes Test matches. How's the excitement amongst the boys? I mean, it's getting close now. Where tournament's about to kick off. Is there a good buzz within the camp?
Yeah, I think the guys itching to just get going now. We've been here for quite a while. We obviously had the Zims series, and then we had the time in Oman. We've had a few things thrown at the side with regards to COVID and bubbles and injury here or two. So there's been a few things going on, which has kept everyone on their toes, but also makes you realize just how precious and how quickly things can change and turn around. So the guys are very appreciative. Playing for Scotland is a huge. Getting the guys excited, but getting excited about the right stuff and not worrying about external stuff or things that goes on other than just winning games of cricket for Scotland.
Best way to be, forget the outside interference, focus on the job at hand. Okay, Mr. Trott, I can't let you go without asking you, what's your prediction for the tournament? Who do you think are the favourites? I'm putting you on the spot here. Let's see if we can get a definitive answer out of you.
I'd say England or India. I think you're favourites. I think England play very, very good one-day cricket, but I think the amount of Indian players that have been here and playing in the IPL, they're used to conditions. They're a very, very good side. They're built for all conditions, really, as are England, I think. England are missing a few key players, obviously. Stokes and Archie in their T20 setup, which are huge players. I think England will be there and thereabouts, and I think any of the subcontinent teams, but particularly India, they're a very, very good side, as well as England.
I think the West Indies as well are the ones I think are a dangerous T20 outfit.
That's what I'm saying, but you're not quite sure with regards to the West Indies. They're quite they can sort of blow you away. Yeah. Blow anybody away on their day. So that's going to be really exciting to see as well. But if you had to sort of put some, if you had to put something down on it, if you had to put your mark on it, then you'd probably go with those guys who've been very consistent over the last couple of years.
Yeah, I think so. The depth in both their squads is just incredible. Look, it's been great to talk to you. I know you've got
too, mate.
Busy couple of days ahead. I'm wishing you all the very best. All the Scottish cricket fans are very much behind you. and hopefully you can really stamp your mark on this World Cup, make the Super 12s, and why not take down a few giants in the process? And maybe you never know, we might lift the cup. So funnier things have happened.
That'd be exciting, wouldn't it?
It'd be unbelievable, mate. It'd be unbelievable.
Yeah.
You take care of yourself, and all the very best, my friend.
Cheers, mate. Go well.
Cheers, mate.